What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Deck Knight project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++ blueprints, and the gameplay abilities such as the plugin and all that good stuff. So today, of course, we're continuing with our projectile pulling system. It's been a 8-part series trying to figure this out and get it going again. But we're close. We're making a lot of good progress. We're slowly adding back all our features and adding in new ones. And today I want to focus on hopefully two things. The first being finishing up on the ricochet logic, and then use either doing AoE spawning or do like projectile effect data logic, basically having, I guess, maybe even arrays of gameplay effects that we would apply either on ourselves or on enemies or however the case might need to be. To get some more interesting effects with the projectiles, and I'm hoping, because we are doing it within pooling, it would be enough to, like, my concern is just like how flexible will it be to be able to apply gameplay effects that might need like specific data about the hits. How's it going, Talos? Thank you for stopping in. How you doing? We got ourselves a kitty. I don't know if she wants to. I don't know if she wants to lay down or not, but we'll put her up here. See what she says, what she thinks. A little tired or annoyed, I don't know. But like, for example, if we had a projectile with a ricochet property that we have a gameplay effect on, that says, like, when it ricochets, after all the ricochets, like, you get a certain benefit based on the number of enemies that were hit from the ricochet, for example. Like, how would I be able to manage that in a very, like, elegant way? You know what I mean? Like, is that something that would be handled elsewhere or in the ability that calls the projectile? Or is there a way to handle and track that? How do I know what I want to be doing with the gameplay effect? Not sure. Those are things to kind of figure out. But let's start with ricochet. For the time being, you're trying to change your gameplay effect system, like burn, shock, and freeze. In what way are you trying to change it, if you want to share? So yeah, let's go to NPC projectile ability. I'm just going to disable this stuff from now, because I don't want it getting in the way, shooting 100 projectiles. So let's spawn some enemies. And I think right now my current projectile doesn't ricochet, or at least we're working on having it ricochet. And it looks like it does ricochet. The stuff that I did at the end of the last stream seems like it worked. So we have ricochet, so that's... Hold on. Why did that miss? That's interesting. And why does it go nowhere? So we're not out of the woods yet. We have some bugs, so that's good at least. So let's take a look at our projectile. So we fixed this, because last time what we were doing, we were getting some bugs where the world was not valid, and it was just because by the time we were ricocheting, we were trying to pass in the actual, I think, the projectile world, or the target world, and something was just null and it was just crashing. So let's see what's going on. And it might be easy to also kind of guess, process and debug this in some sort of way. Maybe I could draw like a debug sphere. Yeah, I think something like that could work. Fuck it, I'll do an entire bucket. Oh my god, Esteban, how you doing? LK Games, thank you for coming in. How you doing, man? Good to see you posting stuff online. Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, when we attempt to bring stuff back into the pool, that's all well and good, I think. Do I have to reset anything? I'll need to do every time we do this. Because, yeah, we check if it's an ally, then we get to here. We check, hey, so projectile count, we have it there. We have it there. We increment it. Yeah, and then we do also zero it out. So I would want to know what is causing it to, like, because I think it looked like it was ricocheting to like world origin or something. I should really get into C++ soon. I would say so. It helps a lot, and I know you've been working with blueprints for a long time, so it shouldn't be as daunting. But yeah, things still take me way too long to implement in C++ compared to Blueprint. I think I'm getting better. So I want something more interesting than what I have now, like a shock effect that reduces critical hit resistance, and once it reaches a certain stack, it will apply mini stuns for a specific duration, and it should work for multiplayer. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool that, like, you know, you have your typical stereotypes when it comes to status effects. So it would be cool to try to flip some things on their heads. Like, you know, for the longest time, I found it out on TikTok, but basically the burn status in Pokemon also reduces the enemy's, I think, attack power. I thought it just did damage over time. But, you know, that's something interesting, an additive layer that you don't really pay attention to. So maybe when you apply burn to enemies, their attack power is also reduced or something like that. Something more than just a damage over time could be interesting. All right, so let's see how a game is ricocheting, or not game, or projectile. So we shoot. So that's fine. That's also fine. So I'm going to spawn 2 guys. And we'll do slower motion. So yeah. Good. Now, what if okay, that guy's dead. I'm out of arrows. I shoot. Okay. Maybe it fails when, like, I don't know, there's no one else to ricochet. So that didn't even reach that guy. That one did. Maybe it did reach it, I don't know. Yeah, so it still seems like it's trying to find someone. So where are we ricocheting? Where are we Nicholas-shaying? Ricochet. So on projectile hit, we do all that. We hit the number of ricochets. But yeah, we eventually get here, it seems. And like our base projectile pulling system is using this ricochet target preset. And we already have filters. It selects in an AoE. Make sure they don't have death. Ignores the player, gets the NPC. So I kind of have to like study what's going on. So that shouldn't be enough to. Alright, that still ricochets. Ricochet. I need to get a debug to give myself more arrows. So I'm curious what happens here. Do we run? Oh, he's gone. Okay. So let's observe. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yo, what's up, Trash Talk? What are we doing today? We're working on the ricochet effect of our bow. I think our bow shouldn't do fire damage for now. Or maybe even very limited damage. So what is it? Range base? Because I'm trying to find out a bug, because sometimes it just seems like the arrow bounces off and goes into some random direction where I don't think it would or should. So let's go to range base. Let's not range base. Gotta go to base attack. So ricochet chance is 100%. That's fine. Can ricochet. Number of ricochets is 3. Good. So damage, we will just say physical. We will not apply a burn stack. And we will do not damage over time. And we will apply just 1 damage. So this should give us enough to play around more. So we can ricochet, we hit, good. We hit, good. Oops, I'm spawning too many on accident. So it's interesting that I'm not picking the right one. So like 1, 2, and it doesn't even go the number of times I would imagine it going. So we could put a breakpoint here. Fire. So 1. Right, so we get to eventually to here. So we're doing all of that. The instigator actor is me, cool. So then we do that, and then we hit again, and we do that. Maybe it's because of the lifetime? Maybe it eventually stops. Let me make this lifetime crazy. Because maybe we do need to reset the lifetime each time. I'm just going to make it 10. Just to have some example of that. So 1, 2, 3. Let's just put a bunch in so we can test this. So 1, oh, let's take the breakpoint out for now. Oh god. So let's see. So 1, 2. Yeah, it seems like it kind of gives up after 2. So after we request it, we do that. And then lifetime expired, I think is fine. So when do we do? So on projectile hit, we eventually get to here. Say, hey, if we increment, but then we eventually get to here. So I'm curious. I'm assuming that's what we get. So the 1, 2, yeah. So maybe it's counting too much. So let's put a breakpoint there. So we get 1 hit. It's at 0. Now it's at 1. It's at 2. It's at 3. So I'm wondering if, because it overlaps, maybe there's just multiple overlap events being generated. Because we have on begin overlap, and then we eventually, we don't need this. We have hit actors.add. So I guess maybe we also need to check if and not yeah, what's the best way to check if something is in here? So if contains, there you go. Other actor, yeah, there you go. So we're checking, hey, is it a character and the character is not in this array? Go ahead and add. And basically, if this fails, then we have to, I don't know what we would need to do. Maybe it has to be in like a separate if statement, because we might want to handle this different. So if not hit target dot contains other actor. Like essentially, like I don't want to do anything else. I'm hoping that will work. Let's recompile. So basically, we're just saying, hey, if this actor is not already in our hit targets container or hit targets array, go ahead and do everything with it. If it is in there, don't do anything. So hopefully that will give us the results that we're assuming. And then we'll have to see if that works. If we can reproduce that other bug where it was like kind of going and not homing, but moving towards the seemingly world origin, but it just seems like after it hit a certain target, it just kind of yeeted off in some other place. So we'll find out shortly. So that is our data example. We made the lifetime 10 seconds, which is fine for now. Just put a bunch in, and let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And I think that's fine, because like the number of bounces we're saying is 3, so technically, you know, it's a hit, and then 1, 2, 3 bounces. So that seems like that fixed the problem. So that's awesome. We'll have to keep an eye out to see if we get that other bug again. Where it just seemingly kind of went off in some other direction. So now, I want to figure out what's the best way of handling what I want to do next, which is like having some way of applying gameplay effects based on the behaviors of the projectile. So for example, you might want to have a gameplay effect apply on a target when it's hit, when it's the target of ricochet and gets hit, when or you apply a gameplay effect when on you in those same events and stuff. And maybe those gameplay effects need to be complex, where basically, like based on the number of ricochets there were, you know, do something. So I'm thinking if I need to have, I don't know, like I don't know if a custom object needs to be instantiated. So like you can kind of construct how you want the behaviors to be. So for example, either in the projectile data or here, you would just have an object that has like these events. Maybe. Let's try some stuff. I have an idea, I just don't know how well it's going to work. So my idea is, oops, we can have a new class. Let me just make it in editor. So tools, C++ class, it's just going to be, this has to be like an object, I suppose. So we're saying GASC underscore projectile. Like, I wonder if we can use like the event broadcast system or something. Let's figure this out. So GAC underscore projectile event listener. Thanks for stopping by, Aslan. It's much appreciated, man. It's good to hear from you. Take care. I'll keep watching your stuff, man. Have a good one. So where was I? Where are we? What am I doing? So is it systems and projectile? Subsystems and projectile? Where are we in the code? So it's, yeah. So character, okay. I want to test a theory. So more or less we got, we got ricochet working. So now my theory is what do I want to say? You function I think it's what, blueprint implementable event. So maybe just as a test, and then maybe also a function. I mean, it's giving me some good suggestions, so I'm going to keep writing it because I need to do. I'll do virtual void on projectile spawned. For some reason I'm not getting autocomplete. Which is weird. Let me just relaunch writer. Yeah, slowly making my way through Horizon. I think I'm almost done with Mortal Shell 2, the demo. Or the beta. The beta. And then I'll try to get back into Valor Mortis. I didn't like it. I only played for 8 minutes, but I didn't like it too much, but maybe I just kind of let it grow on me. "33 Immortals." Haven't heard that. Looks pretty good. Actually, looks pretty cool. I will add it to my wish list for now. Oh, it came out yesterday. Yeah, I think that might be it. Talos, it might be parry-based fatigue. Because yeah, it's Mortal Shell 2 is strongly parry-based. We also did. What was the other game? Onimusha. So yeah, maybe I need to take a break. And just so yeah, I'll definitely check out 33 Immortals. Looks like it's right up my alley. So for whatever reason, this is just not linking correctly. What's wrong with my writer? Yeah, Fable shared 30 minutes of gameplay count. Yeah, combat was not great. I wanted to look at it for like a reference and stuff. It looked flat. I'm assuming it was simplified for the sake of the demo. At least that's what I hope. The other systems, yeah. So a private function. Oh, okay. So maybe I have to make it public and then it will be happy. Because I also have to, I assume, instantiate it, right? Because like, even like the like I'm not getting any of the same like colorings and formatting, so I don't know what's wrong with this class at the moment. Okay, should not be virtual. That's fine. Doesn't have to be. Okay. Hey, I'm a new person to Unreal Engine, but what's the different uses of macro library over function library in blueprints? I mean, macros are things that I believe can be done, can handle asynchronous tasks within it, whereas a function cannot. So it depends on what you're trying to do with the logic, but macros typically are better or more suited or even just meant for asynchronous things, whereas functions are not. So that's what I would say is the main difference between macro and function libraries. Let me make an event listener. Of course, I forgot to make it blueprintable. Like, I'm really worried why I'm not getting the same formatting and auto completing. I think I know why. Let me stop it because I don't see it here. So add existing item. There you go. For some reason, it just wasn't added to the project. There we go. We're happy, joyous. We should be okay. And I think we just need, like, if anything, a a destructor. And I never remember how to do this, so I think it's like that. Can I super that? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's go back. So what is projectile pooling? Projectile pooling is basically, instead of spawning a projectile when you need it, at the moment you decide to fire a projectile, you spawn these actors ahead of time while the level loads or during any sort of asynchronous loading so that you have them available. And basically when you spawn them like this, you keep them empty, you turn things off, and then as soon as you need it, you activate particles and you activate movement components. You basically turn everything on and use it. And then when it's done, instead of destroying it, you just return it back into the pool. And then rinse and repeat. And so you save the cost of spawning and destroying at runtime in favor of doing it up front when loading in the level, and unloading them when you unload a level, or unloading things asynchronously behind the scenes. So it's only meant for when you have systems or gameplay mechanics that have a lot of projectiles. My game probably won't, but I wanted to learn how to build such a system and try to make it flexible for what I'm trying to do. And so far I think we're having some success, because in our stress testing, we were basically able to double the amount of projectiles that we could have on screen while still remaining at 60 FPS on shipping builds. So, safely we can have about 700, maybe 600 projectiles on screen at once. But again, I think our project's probably not going to need that. At most, maybe 100. But it's good that we have some more processing time and frame time to play around with. So let's see now if we're actually able to make a blueprint class from this event listener. Listener. Okay, whatever. You can't let me rename it because I'm not in our thing here. So we have, for example, on projectile spawn, right? So more likely than not, we need some things for our events. So most likely than not, we want to have maybe T weak object pointer, a actor, instigator actor, for example. I guess we can't have that, so I guess that's just to be a pointer. And maybe this could have an int32 count. And maybe we don't need all this information on projectile hit. So just grab other actor. Let's just see what that looks like. I could make them disappear when in proximity to each other. Hold on, there we go. So right now I'm wondering how I reduce stress on the CPU and keep all my bullet hole decals persistent. I want players to be able to use bullet holes as landmarks for navigation, so they should be static. I could make them disappear when in proximity to each other. I mean, yeah, that's one idea. I just know decals aren't very performant with Unreal, so maybe there's other ways to do it. Maybe it could be done in Niagara systems in some way. Or I forget, I forget what it's called, but I don't know if that'll work. I guess it depends on, yeah, these bullet holes will be all over the place, not just on the ground, so I don't think you can use like was it a view target, render target. But also, I guess it just depends on how complex the bullet hole material is. Maybe it's relatively safe and performant. But yeah, probably proximity would make sense. Maybe you can also hide them when they're not near the player, as an example. So we have event on projectile spawned. So what I'm fearful of is, because this is like a U object. If we then spawn it, maybe because it's a light object, it's okay. But because like in theory, what has to happen now is we need to pass this in as an optional parameter. So I'm curious what that looks like. So if we go to data, or not data, where's the subsystem? If we were to say, we were able to do that. So I think it has to be I just wonder if this will somehow defeat the purpose. Listener. I'm just worried about what happens if there's 10,000 bullet holes everywhere. Well, I mean, that's going to be a problem. If there's 10,000, well, I mean, because they're static, it's one thing. It depends on how much overdraw there could possibly be. It may not be that big of a deal. I just want to see what this looks like. I don't think that's going to compile successfully. Hold on. Let's not have that. I just want to see what the function looks like when we're trying to spawn and claim. So, one other thing could be, like, maybe it can be, maybe it could be handled in a different way, where instead of it being on the projectile and things like that, we handle it on the calling attack. Because like here we have the event listener, right? But yeah, that's not really what I want it to look like or function. Like how I want it to look, for example, how I would want it to look like if I find, do I have a dagger animation somewhere? Hopefully I do. I have this melee trace notify, right? I have this. Is it in this notify? Like I want to be where I kind of those are all, that's the row name, weapon. Yeah. Maybe it has to be a T subclass. But then yeah, I spawn things async. I don't know. Like if I do that per projectile, that's kind of nuts. It's like maybe. I mean, let's just continue with this path and we'll figure it out. So if instead of it being object, we just do T subclass of. Maybe. Because I'm thinking about the cases of like when like an attack decides to spawn or claim like 40 projectiles or something, and then you want to listen to the events of all of those things. Maybe it could be done just once, and then the object, the listener has an array of these projectiles and then binds these events to them. And so like the object itself doesn't have these events. Because yeah, in theory now we have this class and then we're able to put in BP listener, right? But then what that means is for each projectile we have to then do spawn actor class, which is counterintuitive, where we're trying to pool things. And so that doesn't make too much sense. So maybe we just do it once and pass along the new projectile. And so when it's constructed, we then bind to some of these events. Let's try to prove this with at least one example, and we'll just have to see what it looks like when we do it in practice. So, event listener, we need to have a deconstructor and a constructor. Then I just do like that. And then we want to have, for now, a U property. So T U is going to be A, yeah, C, projectile, or A gas course projectile. Class has not been declared previously. Can I just say class? So I want to say if projectile log fmt temp warning projectile this like that. So, oh yeah, then I need to do the same. So hash include game character projectile. Oh god, projectile. Bye, boo boo. So I hope that will work. So then, in a projectile pooling system, we have our T subclass of, maybe then we say, so instead of instantiate here, we then do it here, where we say, now if event listener then we want to say get world spawn actor deferred. Because it's not an actor though. So maybe I have to figure out how to. Or is it like automatically constructed? Let me look at this. So U objects are not spawned like actors, are created with new object. Okay, so. I wonder if it's collect isn't garbage collected. So let's just see. So you. I don't know if that'll work. Maybe I need to have a. Not in the constructor, but. Listener. One system I just can call. I just don't know if it will. Like, I feel like it will be immediately destructed, if that's the right word. Hope this will do something. Let's see. Sun is bright as hail. And build succeeded. We're making plays. Okay. We're not out of the woods just yet. What's wrong? What happened? So is that safe? Okay. I still, yeah, I was not confident in that at all. So not sure why that's crashing. I'll just comment that one out. Assumingly that's the problem. Build succeeded, but at what cost? I assume we're gonna get a crash. You know, that's what my heart tells me. But only one way to find out. Yeah. So, deconstruct. So I'm gonna have to. I need to look this up. So I'm not sure why. What it needs. Is it missing world or something? Just for the hell of it. I have to take the dog out. See you later. Yeah, thanks for stopping in, Talis. It's always great to chat with you. Say hi to the doggo. Okay, so we can at least get the editor, and we'll have to just see now what happens if we spawn. We're good. What happens if I try to do that? We get a crash. So, am I crazy? Am I doing something just dumb? So, is it because it's a double? Because I have other examples of log FMT, right? That also doesn't have. I need an example. There it is. Something like this, right? Do I have to pointer? Let me also just play this so I can get a crash report. Also, I didn't compile, but let's just get the original crash report. Maybe it'll give us something important. Oh, let's spawn arrows. Okay, crash, of course, expected. We didn't recompile, but I want to see what this says. So, lock format has an unexpected character use to escape it. So there's the extra closing brace. Okay, so let's assume this will fix it if we build this. And assuming these are safe. Strong assumption. Let's cancel. Start again. Okay, it succeeded, but we'll actually load the editor with the whole constructor. Being safe so far. Will it let us spawn an editor now? Okay. And now will it let us do that? And it did. Okay, so no more crashes. So let's look at our logs. So projectile, gas projectile 109. So that's good. So now I think in our projectile, let's get rid of some of our things here. So I'm hoping in our projectile we can have a bunch of I don't know if they have to be multicast delegates. I was just reading about delegates, and I know there's a version of delegates that's like not multicast, but it's like a single one. So like a dynamic signal is dynamic single. Maybe a dynamic single. Well, let's just do multicast just to be safe. So we already have things with lifetime expired and everything, so that's good. So let's do a test. So declare dynamic multicast delegate. Probably what, one param. We'll say F projectile created. A actor gator. We need to have a new property here. And then we say and then instigator actor, we get instigator. Now I'm hoping we can say function void on projectile instantiated the actor instigator actor. And then it's a projectile not add dynamic, but what is it? So projectile and then on instantiated, that's not what I want. What is the name of this? Like that, right? So member is inaccessible. Okay. So probably we'll need to move all these delegates out from private and into some public space. So back into our listener, that should be happy. Still no. Is that not a public space? Not protected space. Public, maybe we could put them at the top here. Now you should be happy. And then we can just log That's right. Say if. Constraint. So yeah. Like, can it be? Weak. Anchor. Data. Anchor. Const. Has to be the same signature. I guess. Maybe. Let's see. If I were to just copy this. And the projectile itself in this can't say like T weak object or any actor, can it? Okay, seems like I can. Guess it's saying this thing it's static, so that's fine. So I wonder, can this work? Because if this can work, then I think we have an interesting path forward. So what we're hoping here is I guess we also need to, maybe we can add this code too, because I don't think we're getting the callback. We have a break, we don't have a breakpoint here either, so I'll put breakpoint in here. Let's just do that as well. So if we can get that breakpoint, I think that'll be a safe time to just say we're good for today. We've been streaming for almost an hour and 15. Because basically the idea now is just to be able to do whatever scripting I want to do for the events of the projectile here. So I can say, hey, when it's spawned, I can do this. Like, okay, apply this to the instigator. Do this to the instigator. Okay, when it's hit, do this, do that. When it ricochets, do this, do that. When it expires, get the data about how much it's ricocheted and stuff like that. And then pass this class along here, where it's like, okay, this will be where we listen. So fingers crossed, do we get the breakpoint? No. So do we get here? No. So my concern is maybe... do we get here? We do get here. So I wonder if there's maybe a race condition? Let me see what gets called first. This or this. Can we get there? No, we don't get... so we do get there. But instigator actor is null. Okay, wait. Okay. We can work with that. So why? Because when we are in the pooling, we set instigator here. Is owner valid? Maybe owner would be valid. Let's try. So again, the hope is we get something valid here. So let's see. So yeah, seldom is it easy. Life's never easy, but somehow we persist, huh? Okay, fingers crossed, gang. Let's see. In the end, I'm hoping we get that breakpoint. Okay, we get here. Yeah, instigator actor is still not a thing. Are we getting anything? Like, let's get owner. Is there anything we can get from that? No. Well, let me get rid of that breakpoint. Not gonna use it. So is there any information that we get? Let me get to the projectile pooling system. Let me get here. Okay, so that's our problem. It happens after. Which I guess is a problem. But, well, no, because we set owner instigator. Like, what do we get here? Am I nuts? So instigator is elf male. Owner is that. So we're setting these things, right? So we get there, and then we get here. We have all this information. Because it's a weak object pointer. Let's see if we get any information on this. I'm not entirely sure why. Like, I'm assuming I'm gonna get the right information when we have to get owner, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay. So it's fine. So get owner is fine. I'll have to see what's going on. I have to ask AI what's going on. Oh boy. Because it's just getting null or just question mark. So is it because it's const? Is it because it's a 2 week? Well, it's saying not to use a T-weak object pointer, so maybe I just tried to go too hard and get so far. So, hey, actor. Here, nothing really changes, but in here, we have to change the signature. Maybe it's also because it's const here? Does it have to be const? Don't know. So cannot convert. Okay, so this also has to be const. Update the signature here. No. Okay. Can I do const? I don't know if that's gonna work. We'll see if that just compiles. Succeeded. Oh. I have faith that this will work. Fingers crossed. As soon as we get the phone. Okay, get here. Okay, we got there. So we should get a breakpoint in Blueprint, which we do. We get it here. And we got it. Okay. So we should get a print string. Yes. So yeah, now I think that the main issue is like all these objects exist, I think. I don't know if they're ever destroyed. I guess that's the concern as well. But we're gonna have to figure out how the destructor has to work, because I don't think it's ever called. Like, I mean, we can always just look. So we have that. We'll go to our output log. We have our warnings. So we have created. And then we have destroyed as well. So it seems like it gets garbage collected. But maybe there needs to be a way to manage that better. So we'll have to figure that out next time. But I think we're in a good direction. So thanks for watching, everybody. It's always appreciated. Yeah, sorry, I didn't read the cherries. Stretch and keep hydrated. I've been drinking sugar-free Monster. And yeah, I need to stretch more. So thanks again for watching, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good weekend coming up. We'll probably be back either on Sunday or next Tuesday. So until then, make sure to join our Discord if you're interested. Hang out, learn, share knowledge with one another. If you aren't already following me here on Twitch, make sure to follow. It's always appreciated. And please subscribe as well to our YouTube channel. Slowly but surely working on a motion warping tutorial, and we'll post more progress videos for the projectiles now that we have some more stuff to kind of show off. Yeah, and thanks again for your support, guys. I'll see you next time.